With the new year comes another chance to change a day into a cherished memory and turn a lifelong goal into a dream come true. The deep meaning of the moment is felt not only by the teams, but also by the school communities fortunate enough to be part of this experience. All of Wisconsin has bonded with the Badgers, who boast a Big Ten tough defense and an offense that set all-time school records across the board. But here are the Horned Frogs. TCU is undefeated with the #1 defense in the country. Tonight they take a national stage they have long sought and undeniably deserve.
This game is huge for our campus.
This means everything to me.
Woo! Go Frogs!
The Rose Bowl's the oldest and most legendary.
This is so rare. TCU rock.
And this isn't just any bowl game. I mean, it's the Rose Bowl.
We are amazing.
Campus is jumping, crying, yelling, screaming.
That's what we're about!
Football is the game, but passion is in play. On the field and in the heart of every fan who rings in the new year with the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl.
Pride. My pride. My pride.
Passion.
Tradition.
TCU tradition.
On Wisconsin.
You are looking live at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. The struggle, the anticipation, the drama, and the dreams have all come down to the granddaddy of them all. It's the Rose Bowl game, presented by Vizio. It's all business for the Wisconsin Badgers, who have returned to Pasadena after 11 long years, determined to capture their 4th consecutive victory at the Rose Bowl. But they are taking on a dominating TCU Horned Frog team in their very first Pasadena appearance. Determined here to walk away unbeaten and cement their program's place among the nation's elite. Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to 2011 in the Rose Bowl with Kirk Herbstreit, Aaron Andrews. I'm Brent Musburger. So nice you could join us today. And Herbie, the grandeur of this scene, it is just one of the special occasions on the sporting calendar.
There's nothing better for me personally, and I know how you feel as well about our trip every year to Pasadena. There's something about the history, the tradition, the pageantry, the San Gabriel Mountains looking over the stadium. It's as good as it gets, and this will be a fun game today.
Yeah, we've got a good one. Let's start off with that three-headed monster, that running game of the Badgers.
We've been talking about it for now about a month, about Wisconsin, and of course their big offensive line and their running game. You got to be impressed with Monty Ball and what he did late in the year. Really tremendous patience as a runner, number 28. James White brings the quickness and the burst to the backfield. John Clay is back and healthy. He'll really try to give him a chance to show the power into that smaller TCU defense. The Horned Frogs are determined to load the line of scrimmage, so keep in mind, as Lee Corso said, Scott Tolzien and the play-action pass will be very, very essential to Wisconsin's chance to move the football. TCU crowds the line. Tolzien's going to try to throw over top of it.
You know what's interesting, Herbie? Everyone's talking about the speed and the aggressiveness of the TCU defense. That offense averages over 43 points a game.
And that's the difference in the TCU program with Gary Patterson in the last 4 or 5 years. They can now score, and Andy Dalton is 41-7 as a starting quarterback. He brings veteran leadership and decision-making to the position. They're physical in their own right. Up front on their offensive line, Ed Wesley, 32, can run the football. The X factor is Jeremy Curley, number 85. You'll see him watched up as a wide receiver. They try to get him in space, and also on special teams. If he can get a little bit of a seam, he can pick up big chunks of yardage.
Herbie, I'm always concerned about the nerves in a setting like this. What's your feeling?
I agree with you. And with such a long layoff, when all this hype, I just wonder for TCU. They're so anxious to get here, so anxious to prove to the world that they belong. And after the way their Fiesta Bowl went last year against Boise State, they want to show that this team can beat Wisconsin and prove the experts wrong. And they just have to remain cool early, try to settle into the game.
And the Horned Frogs, unbeaten in the regular season for the 2nd consecutive year, come out behind Coach Gary Patterson. Now it is Brent Bielema and the Wisconsin Badgers. 60 degrees here in Pasadena. You can see down in Fort Worth, home of TCU, 47 degrees. And in Madison, a little chilly, 16. So I guess everybody's huddled around the TV sets and the fireplace. Aaron Andrews is standing by with Coach Gary Patterson. So let's go to Aaron.
Brent, thanks, Coach. Your defense leading the nation for the second straight year. Now you take on this offense with their accurate quarterback, their big line, and those powerful backs. Who do you attack first?
Well, number one, you're not going to stop them. You got to control them. We got to tackle, play leverage, and we can't allow the big run, and we can't allow the play action. So that's our goal today. Offense got to move the ball, score some points, and we got to try to contain them a little bit, and then find a way to win by one more point.
You're an emotional guy. What was the last message to your team before they ran out?
Well, I'd been in a white pant, a khaki pant. I was in all black. Coach, we got here in khaki, so I went in and changed, baby. So here we go.
Looking good. Thanks.
Thank you.
There across the way on the far side, Brett Bielema, a player and a head coach in the Rose Bowl, and so we're just about set to go. The officiating crew takes its position, so settle back, everybody. Enjoy this gorgeous scene. And we are ready to go with the 97th Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. Flat line to Gilreath. And he returns it to the 31-yard line. And so here comes Scott Tolzien, the Badger quarterback. Very efficient, not glamorous, but simply does not make the big mistake.
And that'll be such a big thing today, just managing the game. Everybody thinks about Wisconsin and their big offensive line and their running game, and that's a big part of it. But today, his ability to throw the football, especially on early downs with a play action pass, will be a big part of Wisconsin's attack.
Monty Ball will be the first running back out. First carry for Ball, huge hole, explodes, 40, 35, and across the 30-yard line before he is knocked down.
Well, this is what everybody wanted to see. Wisconsin's offensive line. What a great combination block. Kevin Zeitler, number 70, gets up to the linebacker, and Wisconsin picks up where they left off at the end of the regular season with a big effort here by that big offensive line and Monty Ball.
A 40-yard run to open the game on the first down. And no, they didn't go to the left side.
No.
They came back to the right side.
Absolutely.
Come with the freshman. Bangs across the 30-yard line, and Jason Teague, the defensive back, up to make the stop. Here are your backs and receivers. Now, obviously, we've already seen two of the three backs. Nick Toon, guilty of the infraction. Watch for number 84, Lance Kendricks, and there is that offensive line. Karimi and Moffitt on the left. Cones, who scores very high with the coaches. Zeitler and Wagner are on the right. And Monty Ball now checks back in alongside Tolzien, who is back in the gun. His second carry bounces off a tackle, makes his way to the 20, and this is a manageable third down coming up.
Yeah, it is. And considering they had the middle mistake there to get to 1st and 15, they come back with a couple runs and get to a manageable third down, which is exactly where Scott Tolzien needs to be. It's interesting. It's early in the game, but TCU just gave up their longest run that they've given up all year on the first play of this game. How do they respond here early in the game here on this first third down of the ball game?
Double tight end. 3rd and 2. Paul Christ has the play call from up above. From the power set, another first down, and Monty Ball looking very efficient before Tanner Brock can bring him down.
They've got 9 guys up close to the line of scrimmage. This is the block that we see a lot. Wisconsin brings the lineman around. It's about the 2nd or 3rd time that the first man there that's been there in position to make a tackle has not been able to secure the tackle, and Ball and White both have been able to extend the play for another 3 or 4 yards.
Now, Ball is over 900 yards on the season with those 2 carries. Ewing is set in front of him. Here comes Ball. He is tripped up with a beautiful tackle by T.J. Johnson. His 38th start as a Horned Frog. He's out of Garland, Texas. He forced 6 turnovers this year, and he's a flat good one.
Did you see how he got underneath the block of Kendricks? He beat Kendricks to the point of attack. We heard that all week from TCU. Here comes Kendricks. He goes right underneath it and still was able to not only avoid the block of Kendricks, who's one of the best blocking tight ends around, but also secures the tackle. That was a great play there by Johnson.
White's turn. We have not seen John Clay. They keep it on the ground to the 13-yard line, and Jones, another of the defensive backs, coming up to make the stop. So this is an interesting 3rd down here, Herbie. This could be Tolzien putting it up for the first time.
It's an interesting play selection by Paul Chryst to move this ball down the field. They've not attempted a pass yet, and Paul Chryst, much like the Ohio State game that you and I had, they just rolled up their sleeves early in that game and tried to drive the ball down the field running, but now they're going to see if they can throw against this TCU defense and protect Tolzien.
He will throw for the first time. Middle dropped. Toon. Covered by Jason Teague. Andy Dalton getting ready.
Well, Toon is healthy for the first time really since the beginning of the season. Battled through a turf toe injury. Also had a thigh bruise against Ohio State. I don't think he was just ready for the ball. Tolzien back there with his first throw. Makes a pretty accurate throw, but I don't think Nick Toon got his head around in time to be able to make that catch.
So here comes Philip Welsh. He will attempt a 30-yard field goal. Badgers strike first. Welcome back to the 97th Rose Bowl game, presented by Vizio. Wisconsin 3 and TCU about to receive the kickoff. And here is one of their more dangerous players, as Kirk Herbstreit pointed out in our opening, Jeremy Curley. He will try to give the Horned Frogs field position here, and it'll be interesting to see how the Badgers decide to kick against him. They say bring it on from the right side, and Curley gets into a gap and out to the 22, but overall that is pretty good coverage. Jacob Pedersen, a tight end, down to make the stop. Well, here comes the other Mr. Efficiency, and this is Andy Dalton. And what a career he has had at Fort Worth, Herbie.
6'3", 220, 41-7 as a 4-year starter for TCU. Very, very intelligent thing he said to us, you know, between the preparation, the experience. I've seen everything that every defense has to offer. That experience will be big tonight with his decision making.
Ed Wesley is the running back who just switched to the right. They throw on first down for 10 yards to Jimmy Young, the senior from Monroe, Louisiana. And this Horned Frog offense, which has averaged over 43 points a game. And there is Ed Wesley. Tucker will join him. They're going to use Evan Frosch today as a tight end against this Badger defense frequently. Marcus Cannon, number 61, out of Odessa, Texas. Great battle on the edge against J.J. Watt, number 99. Dalton, an efficient runner. And he makes his way out to the 43-yard line, forcing Henry to make the stop.
He has 77 carries on the year, and he does it just enough. J.J. Watt collapses down on the zone read on Ed Wesley, and he's able to pull the ball out. And they call that play just enough, Brent, to keep the defense honest, make them appreciate that, and avoid the defense from collapsing down on the ball carrier at all times.
An 11-yard run, back-to-back first downs for the Horned Frogs. Now they're basically a full house backfield, and Badgers read it perfectly. Nzegwu makes his first stop of the game, number 93.
Really good discipline by Nzegwu. Watch him come down. He just is able to avoid the block of Dooley. And I don't know if Dooley's assignment, the pulling guard, is supposed to be able to pick that up, or if maybe on that play, because it's an option attack, they're hoping that Nzegwu will maybe move to the outside, be caught off guard, and allow the quarterback to dip underneath that. But that time, Nzegwu was all over it, reading his keys perfectly.
Again, emptying out the backfield.
Let's go!
Deflected, incomplete, and that was J.J. Watt making his first impact of this game by deflecting that pass. 3rd down and 10. So that Badger front. J.J. has been a star, All-American, efficient linebacker, somewhat underrated. Keep an eye on number 9, Blake Sorensen. The secondary, and of course, Valai, number 2, is a star at safety, hard hitter. 3rd down and 10 now for TCU. And he throws for a first down to Jimmy Young. That's the 2nd catch of the game for Young, and that picks up another first down. And remember, that was 3rd and long.
Absolutely, and I think a little bit of confusion here by Finellis because of the formation and the way they stacked their receivers there to the field. How about the arm strength by Andy Dalton on 3rd and 10, getting back there and making a great throw to Jimmy Young before he was even close to the sideline, showing tremendous velocity on that throw.
Matthew Tucker now the running back. Not afraid to stick his helmet in there, is he, Herbie? Here in the early going, Watt making the stop, but Andy Dalton has come to run a little bit.
He has, and clearly with having a month to prepare, they see something that they can take advantage of, and just picking up just 3 or 4 or 5 yards here and there. And also you wonder if it eventually sets up a bigger play down the road where they start to bite down on Dalton, maybe running the ball. And TCU loves double moves. They can give him a little move to the inside and then go deep downfield, and Dalton could get him and maybe crease him for a touchdown.
Yeah, Dalton has carried the ball 4 times, throws it again, pump fake, goes back down the middle of the end zone. Touchdown, Horned Frogs. Bart Johnson, the senior from Brownwood, Texas, a 23-yard scoring strike, and there it was set up by what he was doing, just as you called.
The double move is something that TCU has had such great success with. The biggest game of the year against Utah on the road, they had success and a touchdown a couple times early in that game with double moves. And Dalton, because of his patience, lets the play develop, doesn't give it away, and all the throws that they had underneath, finally they got the safety Aaron Henry to bite up, and they went right behind him.
Ross Evans tacks on the extra point. TCU takes its first lead, 7-3, over the co-champions of the Big Ten. Well, this morning, the 122nd Rose Bowl parade featured the TCU and Wisconsin marching bands. Paula Dean, of course, the Grand Marshal, one of the great cooks, and it was so cute when she asked Steve Shaw before the game, "Can I flip this coin with a skillet?" And he said, "No, ma'am." So here's the kickoff, fielded on the 6-yard line by Gilreath, looking for an alley, and he is out to the 32. Ball is the tailback. Workhorse here in the early going, and this time he has jumped at the point of attack. So here is this, some have said undersized, but I want to tell you this. This is a very fast defense. Keep an eye on number 96, Wayne Daniels. He's edge. Remember Jerry Hughes, great rusher, Tank Carter and Tanner Brock, 2 tackling machines at the linebacking spot, and a very tall, rangy group of safeties. They play that base 4-2-5. Tolzien, middle, and he throws to his favorite target, number 84, Lance Kendricks.
And Kendricks is a guy who they want to try to isolate one-on-one. This is a nice job of giving Tolzien time, but look at, again, another player from TCU slipping, this time to Karen Cuba, who was isolated one-on-one against Kendricks. Kendricks makes a move to the inside. Cuba goes down. Very simple throw for Tolzien, who completed 74% of his passes this year, tops in the country.
14 yards is the gain. And on the first down, here is Ball on a sweep left, and he breaks a tackle. Finally brought down by Greg McCoy.
These big offensive linemen trying to get a push. This is the battle we all want to see. The movement from TCU's defensive line. How about the center, Peter Kahns, trying to lead the way? You don't see that very often from a center. The athletic ability to come around and try to help out. He gets there, knocks away 2 TCU defenders, and Ball gets up and picks up more yards.
John Clay has just checked in for the first time as the tailback. They show a power I formation. Play action. Tolzien comes to the near side, and it is complete. Abrideris with his first catch of the game.
Now here's the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Good job again. He's in rhythm. Both these quarterbacks have come to throw. Actually, the pressure got to him. He does a good job throwing it from the left hash all the way to the right sideline. A long throw, but a good call on an early down by Paul Chryst. Try to take advantage of the aggressive TCU defense crowding that line of scrimmage.
Play action again. Got a man wide open. Down to the 1-yard line they go on the pass to Brady Ewing, the fullback.
Another play action here to try to get these defensive backs up close to the line of scrimmage. And what down did it come on? 1st and 10. When you're thinking you got to be ready for Big John Clay, they're going to run the ball. The safeties get out of position, and Ewing, who is known as one of the best blocking fullbacks in the country, showing the hands there, his 8th catch of the year. And how about the shot that Scott Tolzien takes that time from Tank Carter?
Now you would expect for sure big number 32 is coming out behind that massive offensive line. Here he is. Touchdown. Wisconsin regains the lead.
We got a ball game. We got a ball game. It's going to be fun.
Not bad, kid.
You know it's coming. You just got to be able to make that play. That initial contact, we've seen it in these first couple drives. The Wisconsin running backs are running through those would-be tacklers, those arm tackles, and getting more yards. And that time, big, powerful John Clay gets it into the end zone.
Welsh tacks on the extra point. So Clay's first touch of the day results in the Badgers' first touchdown of the day. They are kicking to the corner, and this time Curley is over on that side. They want the ball in his hands, and why not? He explodes to the 43-yard line. Ed Wesley is a running back, and in that scoring drive by TCU, they were 2 of 2 on 3rd down, and both times that was 3rd and 10. They're the full house backfield, basically, and Pump going deep again, and he's got him inside the 15-yard line. Josh Boyce, his first catch of the game.
Boy, Josh Boyce has a tremendous future in Fort Worth. The freshman who had a 93-yard touchdown against Utah, another double move. This time they catch Brinkley peeking on an underneath route. This is why you have to respect Andy Dalton. This repertoire, he's got a lot of different receivers. He can throw it to anybody, and you have to respect the underneath game, and then they'll give you the pump fake, and they'll get downfield in a hurry.
44 yards, and the Horned Frogs empty out the backfield here on a 1st down, and Dalton's 5th carry of the game. Let's give Taylor credit for another stop, the Badger linebacker.
The big part of this game throughout 4 quarters will be TCU containing J.J. Watt, which they've done a pretty good job of up to this point. But you know that's going to be an ongoing battle up front, not just for Marcus Cannon, who's the left tackle, but the entire offensive line and the pass protection group of TCU trying to keep him out of that backfield.
Curley is one of the 3 wide to the right. Dalton again close to a first down.
A designed quarterback draw. This is a big part of this game plan right now for TCU. Waiting just a beat or two and then just following the big center, Jake Kirkpatrick, and also the running back, Ed Wesley. And so far, Andy Dalton not just hurting the Badgers through the air, but also running the football 6 times for 27 yards.
Third down. And note it's not 3rd and goal. They can still get a first down here. Here comes Dalton again for the end zone. Touchdown, TCU. The Badgers' lead did not last long. Folks, we've got 2 teams that average 43.3 points a game.
Remember the bowl game Andy Dalton had last year against Boise State? I think this game is personal for Dalton.
We've had 23 points scored here in the first quarter of this football game. And now Ross Evans tacks on another extra point for the Frogs. Kevin Sharples will kick it off. And White is back deep with Gilreath. And again, it is Gilreath. Good special teams coverage there. And Monty Ball back in the backfield here for Tolzien. And here they come behind that massive offensive line. And you just get the feeling that the first team that can discover a stop defense is going to get the upper hand. Yeah. So far, we haven't seen it.
We've not, and it makes you really think about turnover. Who the big turnovers in this game and who ends up winning the turnover margin to give their own offense another opportunity to attack the other defense also could be a big factor before this game's said and done. But these offenses got after it in the first quarter.
And that was Boyce, the young man who set up that TCU touchdown, who was receiving attention on the sideline. 14-10. TCU leads Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. High-scoring opening quarter, 14-10. TCU, a non-automatic qualifier with a lead over Wisconsin, the co-champions of the Big Ten. In 2012, TCU will move to the Big East. And you see the San Gabriel Mountains in the background. What a glorious setting this is. We open the second quarter. Badger football, 2nd down and 5. Scott Tolzien hands it off to Ball, who explodes in the middle again to the 46-yard line, and Cuba makes a stop. Herbie, you made the point. That battle between the front and the defense, very lopsided in the first quarter.
Everybody wanted to see how the size of Wisconsin's offensive line would do with the not the lack of size, but just the speed, the aggressive nature that TCU has, the way they move people around. They try to confuse you, and for a quarter anyway, and now another play, Wisconsin really controlling things at the line of scrimmage against the speed of TCU.
And here they come hammering with John Clay. And Aaron Andrews, Herbie has noticed a lot of slipping on the part of TCU. What's the story?
We're looking at them. Those are the cleats, brand new, designed by Nike for the Rose Bowl. They're actually supposed to prevent slipping. TCU got these cleats, Brent, on Sunday, and I heard from their staff, even during practices, they were changing them out. So I just asked the equipment staff, are you able to change out the cleats in the game? They didn't bring another pair.
Look for a lot of tape. 2nd down and 4. Tolzien pulls out and fires incomplete. That was great coverage by Jones on that play against Pedersen.
Well, these hybrid safeties, Colin Jones and Cuba on one side, you have TJ Johnson. These guys do a good job of being physical and trying to come up and run support, but athletic enough to get back in coverage. And TCU again has put Wisconsin and Tolzien into a 3rd down situation.
Third down, Herbie, for the Badgers. They're 2 of 5 in this game. Under pressure, incomplete. Toon. They've gone to him twice, and Jones is there again. He has done an excellent job. He's a senior from Bridgeport, Texas.
Great coverage, and this time they got pressure finally on Scott Tolzien. It's the first 3 and out of the football game that we've had here, and it's TCU who's this time able to bring the pressure and lower the boom. They brought both their linebackers, and Tanner Brock got home. Tolzien lucky he got that ball off, but 2 plays back-to-back by Colin Jones and good coverage downfield.
Now here we go with Curley. Back deep for TCU. Nortman, and it is stopped. Whistle blew.
Before the snap, false start, number 36 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
So Ethan Armstrong picks up that penalty against Michigan State. The Spartans struck on a punt return for a touchdown. See what kind of coverage the Badgers come up with. And they're going to fake it and take off on this. And he dives for the first down. Oh, my, Brad Nortman. That's one of those where you better make it or stay away from the coach.
Deja vu, Wisconsin with the Big Ten championship on the road in Iowa City. The exact same call, and this time Nortman was taking forever to finally get upfield. Here's our view from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. The hesitation, I thought he might have waited too long, but he's just buying time for the convoy to get in front of him. All of a sudden, he's become an offensive weapon for this football team this year.
You don't see fake punts on 4th and 9.
In your own
4th
territory.
and 9 very often. It'll be interesting, as that was Ball back in the game, and I believe he'd just gone over 100 yards with that run. TJ Johnson makes the stop. It'll be interesting to find out after the game if the youngster saw something and did it on his own back there, or they actually called for the fake on 4th and 9.
Knowing Brett Bielema and the courage that he has shown this year, I think that was a call play. I don't think Nortman has the courage to be able to go out there on his own, although he did hesitate so early. But Brett Bielema, that could change the complexion of the game as far as the momentum as well.
2nd down and 6. Stoned in the backfield. Best defensive play of the game, and Tank Carter from Sweeney, Texas, makes it.
This is textbook here for Gary Patterson. A great job by these linebackers the last 2 series of getting underneath the blocks and getting into the backfield. Tanner Brock starting this himself, and this time it's Tank Carter, 43. These 2 have been very instrumental this year for the Horned Frogs, and they're starting to settle down and get a better read on Wisconsin's offense.
3rd and 8. Can they find Lance Kendricks? Tolzien has time. Diving catch, incomplete. They wave it off. They say Toon did not have the ball.
He's calling for the, hey, call the timeout. I caught this football. Make them review this. Well, we're going to take a look at it. Boy, that hand, his right hand looked like it might have gotten under. I don't know if the football touched the ground.
This is a very tough call.
Brett, just the effort here by Toon. Now that he's healthy, you can start to see the type of receiver that he is.
After review, it was a completed pass. It will be 1st and 10 for Wisconsin. Play will resume after the media timeout.
David Perry is 2 for 2.
You made me go out on a limb before we got Dave Perry involved. Woo, man. Oh,
all right, 4:22 to left here in the first half now.
Let's not forget not only that play, but the fake punt. This is the same drive where Wisconsin living on the edge here on this drive and trying to take the lead back down by 4.
Play action out of the power formation. Tolzien is sacked for the first time today. He is ripped down, and Jones, one of the safeties, coming in.
Well, this is a great job by TCU downfield with their coverage, and you can see from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam, the play took too long to develop. It's 1st and 10, play action, but the blitz and the pressure this time by, again, Colin Jones, the senior, who's having a great game. In a game that's been dominated by the offenses, Jones in these last few series, along with the two linebackers, Carter and Brock, really starting to step up.
2nd and 17, white flares. They throw back to the middle, and Kendricks breaks a tackle. So Lance Kendricks catches the pass, and Cuba wrestles him down. He's a point of emphasis for this TCU defense. They know how often the Badgers like to get the 84.
Tanner Brock is dialed in on Lance Kendricks. He is not able to hold on and make the tackle. He slows him down well enough. But I think Gary Patterson and the adjustments that he and his staff are making on this side of the football starting to really play out here for the Horned Frogs. They seem a little bit more dialed in here these last few series.
Getting a little more leverage with that quick defensive line. Now, not this time. Nothing doing. They were held out, and as a result, Tolzien burns them with the pass to David Gilreath. That's 13 yards and a great job by the offensive line here.
Interesting, the soft coverage. Look how easy Wisconsin can get off the line of scrimmage. And for an attacking defense, rare to see them just let Gilreath and the Wisconsin offensive line with a free, or the Wisconsin receivers with a free release, getting downfield and not getting any kind of push at all by the secondary. Typically, they're up in your face at the line of scrimmage.
The freshman back on the field. Here comes White. Battles his way for about a yard behind the right side of that line. Well, coming up on the Chevrolet halftime report, Chris Lee and Desmond, they'll break down the first half for you, and we'll hear from both marching bands. That'll be coming up at halftime, and there are some of their lead stories.
What did the Big Ten lay an egg today, New Year's Day? Mercy.
John Clay is in as the running back, 2nd and 9. Kendricks is on the right side of the formation. Nothing doing, and this is going to be 3rd and long. Carter again. Tank, one of the best named linebackers in the country.
You're Tank Carter. You've got to be able to make plays, and like I said, he and Tanner Brock doing a really good job of getting away from blocks. In the first quarter, Peter Kahns and John Moffitt and Gabe Karimi and all the way across Kevin Zeitler, Ricky Wagner, they were not only controlling things up front, they were getting to the next level and getting to those linebackers. They've not been able to do that as effectively here.
Tolzien has time, snaps it off a little short, got back to Kendricks again, and that was defended by T.J. Johnson. Well, if he was willing to go on 4th and 9, he will go on 4th and inches.
Great effort here. This is two of the best players on the field going head-to-head. Lance Kendricks against T.J. Johnson. Ball is thrown right on the money. Kendricks uses every ounce of his body, including his thighs there, to hold on to that football.
Well, here's Philip Welsh, and of course, I think I forgot to look at the clock. And quickly, Welsh came on the field. And that's exactly why the field goal team came out.
Right.
I had lost track of the last 30 seconds, and it's a one-point game. A great Rose Bowl unfolding. Welcome back to the second half of the 97th Rose Bowl game, presented by Vizio. Let's check it down below now. Erin Andrews is with Wisconsin coach Brett Bielema. Erin.
Brett, thanks. Well, that field goal wouldn't have happened without that fake punt there. You have to tell me, what was the call on 4th and 9?
Well, we were going to run it the first time, and our guy jumped off sides, and we knew it was going to be good. That guy did a great job reacting, but they've shown it all year on film, just something we took advantage of.
3rd down. How do you stop them? I know you just said that's the problem.
That's the problem. Also play action over our head. We told our DBs we're not going to give up anything over the top. We do that like we did on those series. You know, we're going to be off the field and give it back to our O.
All right, thanks for making time. Brent?
Aaron, thank you very much. And certainly that clears up any guessing. It was certainly a called play by the coaching staff, and they come away with it. But Herbie, I want to go back to the last 7 minutes because the end of the half sort of got by me, and Wisconsin didn't use any timeouts.
I think it got by everybody, including Brett Bielema in Wisconsin, because they're driving, and there was so much that happened. The fake punt, the catch by Toon where he got his hand under. The officials looked at it for 3 or 4 minutes, and I think the time got away from them because they're an aggressive coaching staff. They want points there, not just a field goal. They want to go for the end zone, and I think that the clock getting down that quickly may have surprised them. But now we get to the point where you look at TCU. Andy Dalton has accounted for 140 of the 141 yards of offense for TCU in the first half. They've got to be able to mix in some of their playmakers besides Dalton trying to carry everything.
As we take a look at the comparison between our two quarterbacks, Tolzien 8 of 12 for 106 and Dalton 7 of 10 for 109. Herbie, of course, pointed out that rushing difference down there. I do want to point out one thing, Herbie. The Badgers have had the ball for 21 minutes and 28 seconds to 8:32 for TCU.
And the big issue here for Gary Patterson is his defense. They've made some adjustments, and they played much better at defending the run with their linebackers and safeties. But it's a 4-quarter game, and those big bodies start to lean on you. You wonder how they'll hold up, and does fatigue become an issue in the second half for Gary and his defense?
TCU won the toss and deferred, so they will receive the ball to start the second half. And that means that Jeremy Curley and Welsh has done a very good job of pinning Curley to the sideline.
Yes.
Once on the right, once on the left over here. Now our lead has changed hands 3 times, and we've got a 1-point game as we get ready to start the second half. And boy, Herbie, I really think you put your finger on it. How will TCU hold up when we get into that 4th quarter with that huge offensive line banging on them?
TCU only 18 offensive plays in the first half.
Short and away from Curley this time to the outback, and a good decision again. Badgers special teams coming up big here.
But Andy Dalton hadn't been out there much since the first quarter.
Wesley and Tucker both in the mix. And they give it to Curley. And the Badgers certainly not fooled by that formation or the presence of 85 in that backfield.
Kind of that diamond formation that we've seen pop up here late in the year in college football. TCU, not that they've gone to it a lot, but I don't think they're very confident in running the football in the more traditional way. I think the thing that they feel most comfortable with in running is when they've run Andy Dalton with his zone read.
Spread the field. Dalton hit on the release, flutters, and a penalty flag is thrown. Penalty flag is thrown. I believe it was Smith who had the coverage that time. Curley, the intended receiver.
Pass interference, number 10 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Devin Smith, and here it is.
I think the reason Devin Smith is frustrated is Curley, in trying to adjust to where the ball was thrown, actually went into Devin Smith. I think that's the reason that Smith is frustrated, because he felt Curley came into him. Dalton got hit right as he released the ball by Hemer. But anytime there is contact like that and it's in question, it's always going to go on the defense.
First down and 10. Ball just across the 40. Now they get it to Wesley. Dances outside. Picks up a couple of yards on that first down. Sorensen making the stop for the Badgers.
It's a TCU offense. It prides itself on running the football. Justin Fuente telling us this week, hey, we run the football to win games. We throw to score, but we run the ball. Our identity is our running game. And to think that they only had one carry by the running back in the first half is definitely not like TCU.
Dalton from the pocket has another first down, and breaking free, Wesley, the running back. His biggest play of the game, and it comes on a reception, and it sets TCU up with a 33-yard gain.
And this is a form of the running game. You get Wesley flanked out, and you get him matched up against a linebacker in space. This is what TCU wanted to do all along. Can Mike Taylor make a play? Can Blake Sorensen make a play out in space? Because if you give Wesley the football against a linebacker and he builds up momentum, he's going to be able to run through some tackles and shake and bake and get around people. He also got outside of Niles Brinkley.
Tucker now the running back. The ball at the Badgers 25. Dalton adjusts his wide receiver. Looks for that quick flare out there. Got it. First down. Jimmy Young. Signaled to him, moved him in a little bit closer, then threw it to him for the first down.
There's the experience of Andy Dalton taking advantage of a soft corner up at the top. He sees that pre-snap. He sees that the corner is way off the line of scrimmage, Finellis, and he says, this is like pitch and catch. We do this in practice. I'm a 4-year starter. I'll take this, and I'll take an easy first down.
First down across the 15. From the pistol. And it is first down and goal as Matthew Tucker busts a play, and TCU could be in business here.
This time it's a zone read, and he's reading 93 Nzegwu, and because of the success of Dalton running the ball, this time Nzegwu, 93, there you see him, stays to the outside with the quarterback Andy Dalton, and it opens up the back that time, Matthew Tucker, for big yards up the middle.
Shivers is the lead fullback for him, and Shivers gets the call and barges on into the end zone. Touchdown, TCU.
What a way to start the second half. Remember, they had the false start to go to 1st and 15 on the first play. 6 plays, 71 yards. They mix the run with the pass, and Dalton puts them on the board.
Don't forget the pass interference call.
Absolutely. They get down inside there, and they give it to the big fella Shivers, who pretty good push. We've been seeing Wisconsin's offensive line get a push. That time the Horned Frogs getting a push.
Evans tacks on the extra point. Still a one-possession game. TCU with the lead at the Rose Bowl, presented by Vizio. Happy New Year, everybody. With Kirk Herbstreit and Aaron Andrews, I'm Brent Musburger. A great day for a football game. The Horned Frogs just scored, and Kevin Sharples will kick it away. Gilreath on a big hop, drops it, picks it back up, and down inside the 10-yard line. So the Badgers again backed up. Remember, their last drive started at the 5-yard line. This one will start at the 3-yard line. So in terms of field position, TCU has dominated over the last couple of drives. Badgers did get out in good fashion the last time. Ball is the running back. Play action, they're going to throw on first down. Primary covered, comes back the other way, incomplete. Let's check in down below with Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Brent, Wisconsin's offense without tight end Lance Kendricks right now. He's in the locker room getting an IV. They said he's cramping up, and there's really no word on his return. I'll let you know if we find out.
Wow, that's very, very significant for Wisconsin. Losing their best threat as a receiver along with Nick Toon. That means Jacob Pedersen will have to step up and become that go-to target as a tight end.
Inside of 2 minutes in the third quarter. They run ball. Fine looking running back here today. 119 yards he has rushed for in 18 carries.
just really impressed with TCU and the way these players understand Gary Patterson's defense. I mean, as soon as Wisconsin either motions or moves a tight end from one side to the other, everybody's on the same page. There's no miscommunication. They're locked in exactly to what Gary Patterson wants to do as a unit.
3rd and 6. Ball will not get it. Fumble. Ball comes loose, but it was down. This will be 4th and short. 1 minute left. If you weren't with us earlier, coming out, not in this bad a field position, I should point out, but on 4th and 9, Beelman, the team, went for the fake punt. You would not expect it here.
No. We've seen it before with Brett Bielema.
Nortman with the punt. And remember who's back deep now. Jeremy Curley. Here's Curley. Fair catch. Good decision by the young man on the 38-yard line. TCU starting to hand out some punishment. The recipient is the quarterback, Scott Tolzien. TCU with the lead and the football. 1st and 10, final 20 seconds of quarter number 3. James, and here's the option look. Short side, and James comes down that sideline toward the first down spot. What a fine run by number 32 down that sideline. And was that Froush, the tight end, Herbie?
Yeah, Evan Froush just does a good job on the right. Watch him sustain the block on Mike Taylor. He just sets the edge right there. You get a block by Brock, but in the inside there, Froush really does a good job of being able to lock up with Mike Taylor and give the running back some room to get downfield. This job, nice job by Wayman James.
TCU 1 quarter away from winning the Rose Bowl. This is the only major bowl game that TCU has never played in. And now they're closing in on a win. So it's 1st down and 10 now for TCU. And here's Curley picking up the 1st down as Dalton put it in his hands.
Let's make this Wisconsin defense continue to have to play in space. TCU is really doing a good job of mixing up their play calling, and against soft coverage, it's exactly what they want to get Curley the football, because once he makes the catch, he's more dangerous with the football in his hands after the catch, just like he does on punt returns and kick returns. He gets upfield in a hurry for another 1st down. Boy, Justin Fuente mixing up the play calling, the formations, really just keeping Wisconsin off balance on defense.
A little bit behind the receiver and goes incomplete on that particular play. You know, you look at Gary Patterson over there on the sideline. I mean, he works up a sweat before the ball is in the air on the opening kickoff. 50 years old, folks. He's out of Roselle, Kansas. That's a no-stoplight town. And for 2 decades, he was a very lowly paid assistant coach. UC Davis and Cal Lutheran were 2 of his stops. And then he got his opportunity at TCU. Been there 10 years, and he's done a remarkable job with this program. 2nd and 15. Pistol look. Option, Dalton. Pitches it back to the running back, Tucker. And the Badgers jump it.
It's an outstanding job by J.J. Watt against a pistol right here. They're going to option him. He's going to slow play it and then eventually make the play after the pitch. It's a great job of playing the quarterback and then coming off of the quarterback and still having the speed out in space to chase down Matthew Tucker and set up this 3rd and long for TCU.
They are 4 of 6. They've converted a couple of 3rd and 10s, but this one needs 14. Dalton's back. Steps up against the pressure, fires for it, and almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Connor O'Neill.
Tremendous effort and a good job of buying enough time there by Andy Dalton. He stepped up into the pocket. And boy, what that looked like, and until his own man ended up knocking him back. I thought O'Neal had that football, but Aaron Henry jarred the ball loose.
So here's Kelton on to punt again for TCU, and David Gilreath holds the Big Ten career records. Tracked down by Kelton. Gilreath would find nothing to the 23-yard line, and again the coverage team by TCU. 7.5 minutes. Badger football when you come back to the Rose Bowl. Non-automatic qualifier TCU shows up and they lead the co-champion of the Big Ten. Best starting field position this half right now, 23-yard line. Wisconsin 3 possessions this half and 3 punts. John Clay is the running back. Clay for a fine first down and 14 yards before McCoy can wrestle him down.
John Moffitt leads the way. The big left guard coming around to be able to pick up a block and get into that traffic. And Clay showing again very nimble on his feet for a guy that's 255 pounds. If he didn't run into his wide receiver Nick Toon, I think the big fella may still be running.
Clay again. Bust free. Brought down close to the 30-yard line. T.J. Johnson comes with Clay.
It's a counter play that Kendricks this time comes in motion, and then he comes back, picks up a great block off the defensive end, and John Clay running very determined here in a a drive that is obviously in a must-scoring mode for Wisconsin. Not quite the speed to pull it away, but definitely showing some pretty good acceleration for the big fella.
Now they go back to ball. Toss play to ball. Nothing doing. Jammed up. Daniels is there defensively, number 96.
Interesting to Paul Chris continuing to rely on the strength. This time T.J. Johnson said enough of those last 2 plays. He forces the play back to the inside. How many times has Gary Patterson used a term this week with us? Leverage. This is leverage. Forcing a back to where his defenders are. Don't let him get to the outside where he has room to run. Make him go back to where those black jerseys are. Good job that time by T.J. Johnson.
Second down. Badgers keep it on the ground. Hammer with ball to the 30-yard line. This will bring up a 3rd and long, let's call it. Let's call it about 7 yards they're going to need here.
Comes down now to Scott Tolzien. The offensive line, the last few 3rd downs have not done a good enough job of giving him time to throw. You've got to think Gary Patterson will get pretty creative here on his 3rd down. Try to get pressure, try to get to the face. And let's see if Tolzien can either find Nick Toon, number 1, or Lance Kendricks isolated one-on-one.
Tank Carter is picked up on the blitz. And it is complete. First down. And they get it in Kendrick's hands, and there's a penalty flag late. Thrown around the 18-yard line.
There was no foul on the play, no block in the back.
Well, right at the end, it happened right in front of Gary Patterson. He was very adamant, pointing backwards, thinking that it was a block in the back. Good job here on 3rd down. They gave him just enough time. He finds Kendricks. Now watch Kendricks break the play here. And then right at the end of the play, Gilreath just gives a little bit of a push there and trying to be able to make the play. And they must have determined that maybe Kendricks was on his way down or down before Gilreath blocked Jones in the back.
Badgers' first pass of the drive. Clay back on the field. And a big first down run for the Badgers.
This is a huge factor, Brent, and this is a huge factor. Closing in on 4 minutes. one timeout because Tolzien's been forced to use 2 of his timeouts. Taking their time, still running the football, and that's great if they're able to score a touchdown and go for 2 and tie the game up.
Second and 5. Again, Clay. First down, no. Very close.
Boy, this is a great effort by John Clay. A lot of people wondered how much would John Clay play tonight. The way Monty Ball and James White finished those last 4 games, would the Doak Walker finalists get an opportunity to play tonight? And it's the first time we've seen a Wisconsin offense come alive in the second half, and it's because of John Clay and this offensive line helping the Badgers get down the field.
3rd and 1. ISO look with the formation. Clay follows the fullback for a first and goal. 3:15 and counting. Need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
They've been running the football so well. It gets so much tougher inside the 10-yard line against TCU's defense. Scott Tolzien is lethal in this area with the play-action pass. Now, they might just keep pushing because they might feel like they're wearing down this defensive line. But Lance Kendricks, in this situation on play action, a lot of times is able to get behind coverage for touchdowns off of that look.
Clay across the 5, 2nd and goal.
The way this clock continues to move with Wisconsin down to 1 timeout, got to get into the end zone, obviously. Got to get the 2-pointer. Try to get it to overtime. And if they do score and they don't get the 2-pointer, basically it's going to come down to an onside kick. They're taking their time, working the clock, not to give Andy Dalton too much time if they do put this ball in the end zone.
Back with ball. Tries to get the edge, dives for the end zone, touchdown. 2 points away from a tie.
John Clay does most of the work, but Monty Ball, again, pretty versatile back, has quickness, but also enough power that time to get through the arm tackles. And that is only the second 10-play scoring drive that TCU's defense has allowed the entire season.
Three yards away from a tie. Ball stays on the field. Deflected, and the onside kick is the only hope for the Badgers. Tank Carter makes the play defensively. It's the play of the game.
How fitting for Carter, who's had a great season for this Horned Frog defense and a great game, to read the play, realize they're going underneath, jump up, and knock that ball down.
Clinging to a lead at the Rose Bowl, trying to make history. Welcome back to one of the most important onside kicks in the history of the Rose Bowl. It is 21-19, full 2 minutes to go. It'll be up to the Badgers to try and recover this ball or jar it loose after it travels 10 yards. The TCU players can move up. They can down it after it is kicked. And a very superstitious head coach is hanging on by a shoelace. Here we go. Up in the air, and caught in the air and down by Bart Johnson. TCU football. Wisconsin with 1 timeout left. 1:59. And the Horned Frogs are near victory.
You got one of your hands team. You got one of your best receivers. Ball is kicked right to him. Secures that football and possibly secures the victory for TCU.
Matthew Tucker. And there is the man who stopped the 2-point conversion. Tank Carter. Ball security. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Brett, let's go back to the 2-pointer because watch Jacob Pedersen, the tight end, who's right here uncovered. And watch Tank Carter get his hand up and knock that ball down. If he does not make that play, or if Tolzien's able to try to dump it up and over Carter, it's probably a tie game. But great instincts by Tank Carter to go up into the air and knock that ball down because Jacob Pedersen, the tight end, nobody picked him up. He was all alone.
There's a handoff. They squirt through on the right side. Let us not forget way back. The one thing about going way back in a football game, you never know what would have happened afterwards if something had changed. But the Badgers did miss this field goal. It was a 39-yarder pulled to the left.
Yeah,
and right now, one of the differences in this game is that missed field goal with TCU leading it by 2.
And also mismanagement of the clock at the end of the first half where they ended up settling for a field goal, but maybe could have had a touchdown. With all that said, 3rd and 4 with still 1:12 to go.
Here's James. 1st down, and TCU is going to win the Rose Bowl. The victory formation is coming up.
That's
for the little guys everywhere.
Well, Gary Patterson and the Frogs, they had an edge to them in their preparation.
And what a story this is for this school of 9,000 down in Fort Worth, Texas. It's a private school, outstanding school of business. And if you're interested in TCU, the annual cost, including housing, books, and fees, $41,100. That's a bargain, folks.
Yeah.
If you like to go to a school with a good football team, it's a place to go. About 9,000 students, I think, down there. It'll be a wonderful place.
Brett, how much will this win, you think, affect the long-term discussions in the future about the BCS and a non-automatic qualifier and whether they belong or whether they don't? There's so many people that would just kind of dismiss TCU or Boise State. You wonder if a win like this could change the climate in the future, even though TCU goes off to the Big East, of the little guy having a chance to play in the big game. It's one game on one night. Teams like this can play with anybody.
No, don't do that. This game's not over. He said, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you guys? Don't you know we play to the end?
You see what they said? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Yes, sir, Coach.
It's the best part of the night. Yes, sir.
He's wonderful. He's done such a great job down there. Big smile. And why not? There it is. Andy Dalton and TCU win the Rose Bowl. One for the ages. A failed two-point conversion is all that kept us from going to overtime. And there's the offensive hero of the game, Andy Dalton. And, of course, Tank Carter, the linebacker, the young man who broke his back in an automobile accident. Took up football late and came in and made the play of his life. At the age of 10, he was a BMC champion, and now today he's a Rose Bowl champion. Let's go down.
I said at the press conference what I said we won it.
Well, I don't know.
We just won the Rose Bowl.
Yes, you did. Hey, there's been so much talk about if the little guys could hang with the big guys. You're getting very emotional now. What do you say to all those little guys?
I mean, this is for everybody. I got texts from Boise State today. I got texts from all across the country. They'll win this for us. I won it for TCU first, but that's a good Wisconsin team. You got to give them a lot of credit. We just are able to hold on to it. I can't tell you how much I love my guys. Coach and head coaches get all the credit. The bottom line is the players get it done.
You know what you can tell me? Tell me what your emotions were when you saw the deflection and they were trying to go for 2 points to tie this thing up.
Well, yeah, because we didn't have a safety cover the number 3 guy. We knocked it down so it was wide open. So it was oh my goodness. And then, yes, we just might have won the Rose Bowl.
And finally, I have to ask you about Andy Dalton. You were worried he was going to put the weight on the world, try to come back from what happened last year in the Fiesta Bowl, put his performance in perspective.
Well, I can't. He just won 44 ball games as a starter. I can't say enough about Andy Dalton and the rest of this football team. It's been my life here for 13 years. I started with nothing, and now we have everything.
Gary, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
There it is. But the game is over now. And that great speed, they were able to catch him. There he got the bunch, and they are ready to present the trophy. Let's go down to Chris Fowler. Chris.
Brent, thank you very much. An ecstatic bunch of guys in purple and black here. A soaking wet head coach about to clutch the Rose Bowl trophy. And to make the presentation, the president of the Tournament of Roses, Mr. Jeff Drew. Jeff? Coach Patterson, on behalf of the Pasadena Tournament of Roses, I want to congratulate you on being 2011 Rose Bowl champions. Gary, pass it off to your quarterback and explain what capping a perfect season with a Rose Bowl victory over Wisconsin means to your team.
Well, I don't know if you could put it into words. Well, first off, I want to thank everybody that came here from TCU land. Second, what can you say about a quarterback in a senior class that just won 44 ball games in their career? I think that says it all. I love them. They're special, and they found a way to win again today.
You knew Wisconsin had a powerful running game. At times today, they pushed you around, but you were able to make a stand just enough. Take us through that final play, the 2-point conversion, when they're 3 yards away from perhaps forcing overtime.
Well, you know what? We actually had a blitz called, and I actually said to the offensive staff before that, get your thoughts together. They're going to go down and score. We can't stop them here. And we came up with a great tip and found a way to conserve the wheel. But, I mean, it's like your life passes before your eyes. You can't even really think what you think about.
Gary, you've been saying that you've been playing for a bigger cause, not just for TCU, but for all the, quote, little guys, the outsiders in college football. What does this say about where we are in this sport at this time?
Well, I've been saying for a while that parity in college football's hit. You know, I got texts from everybody across the nation, from Boise State, from schools all over, wishing us good luck and saying we were playing for them. And today we played for us, and we played for everybody else out there that wanted a chance. So here we go.
It's been a long building process. This is the pinnacle. You see these guys behind you, confetti in the air in Pasadena. Can you believe it?
No, I can't. I'll probably have to go home and lay down and probably wait till I get back to Fort Worth before I'll be able to say, we just won the Rose Bowl.
Gary Patterson losing his voice, but his team didn't lose a game all season long. Congratulations, the Horned Frogs, champs of the Rose Bowl. Let's meet the players of the game. The offensive player of the game, the quarterback for the Horned Frogs, is Andy Dalton. Andy, you cap off a brilliant career, all those wins as a starter. I know you wanted to play better tonight than the bowl last season. What would make the difference for you?
You know, we knew we had to come out and execute well, and we did that early on. We started fast, and, you know, it helped us get the big win.
You guys didn't have a usual dominant ground game. You really had to make a lot of passes tonight, a lot of key plays with the passing game.
And we had a lot of players make big plays. You know, the offensive line did an outstanding job. Guys making big plays on third downs. And so, you know, that's what we had to do.
Not many people come to TCU and dream about an undefeated season and a Rose Bowl. Put this into perspective from the player side of things.
You know, we knew we had a shot. We felt like we had a great class coming in and with a lot of good players, but it's a dream come true. It's what we set out to do, and the hard work's paid off.
The guy next to you, Tank Carter, who's the defensive MVP, we'll talk to him in a second. He batted down the 2-point conversion. What was your reaction from the sideline watching that play?
You know, we knew there was still some time on the clock, so we had to go out and get the first down. But, you know, it was a heck of a play, and he did an outstanding job.
Andy, that trophy is yours. Congratulations. The offensive MVP, Andy Dalton of TCU. Let's slide around, talk to Tank Carter here. Linebacker, you were in the backfield, a couple of sacks, but the most important play of your career, reaching out, batting down the pass. Did you know the guy was wide open if you didn't make that play?
No, I had no idea. I was coming in on blitz, and he stopped me and blocked me a little bit, so I seen him cock his arm back, and I just jumped up and swatted away. So it was in the right place at the right time, and it feels great.
The challenge of facing this big, powerful offensive line, they thought they could wear you down to the fourth quarter. They almost did. You guys had just enough left.
Yeah, they almost did, but we pulled it out at the end. It seems like we got a little bit better towards the end of the game, and TCU pulled it out. So, go Frogs.
Tank Carter, defensive MVP. Andy Dalton, offensive MVP, as TCU caps a perfect season by winning the Rose Bowl. Brent, back up to you.
Chris, thank you very much. And now, the Rose Bowl trophy will head back to Fort Worth, Texas. The Rose Bowl game presented by Vizio. And the Horned Frogs of TCU are the winners over Wisconsin.